Chosen One, this message didn't find you by accident. God led you here for a reason. You may have felt like your life has been out of rhythm lately. Things not making sense, timing feeling off, doors opening and closing without explanation. But the truth is, everything is aligning exactly as heaven intended. You are stepping into divine order, where every delay turns into destiny and every test becomes testimony. What's coming can't be stopped, not by people, not by fear, not even by your past. Before we dive deep, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because this message isn't just content, it's confirmation. And to everyone who supports through Super Thanks, God bless you abundantly. You are not just watching a video, you are participating in a prophetic alignment. If your spirit feels this message, type 77 in the comments, because that number signifies divine order, unity, and the unfolding of destiny. Now, let's go deeper. Chapter 1. The Chaos Before Alignment. Chosen One. Before divine order can manifest in your life, there must first be divine disruption. The chaos you walked through wasn't random, it was sacred realignment. God had to shake the ground beneath your feet to remove what was never meant to stand with you in the next season. The pain, the betrayal, the confusion, the sudden shifts, all of it was heaven rearranging your environment, your energy, and your expectations. You weren't losing control. God was taking control. Every great transformation begins with disorganization. The divine must first break the patterns that keep you small before it builds the structure that fits your purpose. That's why nothing made sense for a while. You were being recalibrated from the inside out. What you called chaos was actually precision in motion. What looked like an ending was a reset. You were being repositioned from comfort into calling. You see, before God brings order, He allows disorder to expose what no longer belongs. He shakes the surface to reveal the cracks in the foundation. The things that left were not taken from you. They were removed for you. The relationships that fell apart were not failures. They were spiritual filters. The people who couldn't stay were never meant to witness your rise. God was making space for the ones assigned to your destiny. Chosen One, you were never abandoned. You were being refined. The silence, the confusion, and the delays were not signs of neglect. They were proof of construction. Heaven was working behind the scenes, rearranging timelines and aligning divine appointments. You weren't being punished. You were being positioned. You had to be stripped of what was temporary so that you could inherit what was eternal. Divine order doesn't arrive quietly. It comes with shaking, with pruning, with release. The storm had to come to clear the path for peace. You had to lose your rhythm to find God's rhythm. You had to be emptied of control so you could be filled with clarity. The uncertainty you felt wasn't weakness. It was your old life crumbling under the weight of your new one. Now, as the dust begins to settle, everything is coming into focus. You'll start to notice how perfectly the pieces fit. The very things you cried over were the same tools God used to build your strength. Every delay was a divine setup. Every closed door was protection. Every loss was a seed of greater gain. Chosen One, you're not falling apart, you're falling into place. What looked like chaos was actually sacred choreography. God was moving you into divine alignment with your next level of purpose, peace, and provision. The war inside you was heaven rewriting your blueprint. You've been through the storm, but it didn't destroy you. It defined you. You've been through the breaking, but it didn't end you, it birthed you. And now the very chaos that once confused you will become the confirmation that God was always in control. The shaking wasn't the end. It was the sound of a new foundation being set. This is your beginning, Chosen One. The chaos was never the enemy. It was the announcement that divine order was on its way. Chapter 2. When heaven rearranges your life, Chosen One, there are moments in life when everything you built begins to crumble. Not because you did something wrong, but because heaven decided it was time to rebuild you on higher ground. God doesn't destroy to punish. He deconstructs to purify. What feels like chaos is actually divine construction. You weren't losing control. You were losing alignment with what was no longer meant to stay. Heaven saw where you were headed and lovingly intervened. When heaven rearranges your life, it never asks for your permission. It initiates transformation. The job that ended, the friendship that drifted, the opportunity that collapsed, none of it was coincidence. God was clearing out what couldn't carry you into your next level. He will shut doors that you beg to stay open, not because He's cruel, but because He knows what's behind them. You wanted connection, but He wanted covenant. You wanted comfort, but He wanted character. So He stripped away everything that wasn't built to last. You thought you were losing things, but in reality you were being repositioned. God saw the cracks in the foundation of your life, the hidden fears, the subtle compromises, the misplaced loyalties, and said, "I love you too much to let you build on this." So He allowed certain things to fall apart before they could collapse on you. The divine doesn't tolerate disorder. Before heaven can elevate, it must excavate. Chosen one, that's why your prayers sometimes went unanswered, because they weren't aligned with divine order yet. You asked God for breakthrough, but He first needed to break what was holding you back. You cried when certain people left, but heaven whispered, "They were never meant to go where I'm taking you." You felt isolated, but you were actually being incubated, hidden in plain sight, protected from premature exposure. Divine order does not negotiate, it corrects. It dismantles everything built outside of truth and rebuilds it in righteousness. You can't cling to what God is trying to clear. When heaven starts rearranging your life, resistance only creates delay. Letting go doesn't mean defeat, it means trust. Every ending was heaven preparing the environment for your next beginning. You see, God's timing is surgical. He doesn't move fast, He moves right. The divine clock doesn't run on your emotions. It runs on eternal precision. You're not behind schedule. You're in alignment with heaven's calendar. The very moments you thought were setbacks were actually synchronized steps. Divine order isn't about rushing ahead. It's about moving at the rhythm of grace. Chosen one, what was once confusing will soon make perfect sense. You'll realize that every no protected you from false promises. Every detour redirected you toward destiny. Every delay refined your discernment. God wasn't trying to make your life harder. He was making your purpose clearer. The divine rearrangement was never rejection. It was preparation. Heaven is strategic. It never removes without replacing, never tears down without rebuilding, and never closes a chapter without writing a better one. The people who exited made room for those assigned to enter. The doors that shut made space for the ones that lead to destiny. The silence you felt was not abandonment, it was calibration. Now you're learning that divine order is not just about control, it's about surrender. When you release your need to understand everything, you gain peace that surpasses understanding. You stop chasing what's temporary and begin aligning with what's eternal. You stop fighting for what was and start flowing into what's becoming. Chosen one, heaven has been rearranging your life with precision and love. It's not chaos, it's choreography. You are not being punished, you're being positioned. Every piece that's shifting is falling exactly where it needs to. Trust this process. Soon you'll see that what looked like loss was actually divine logic, God making room for the life you were always meant to live. Chapter 3. You are being positioned for purpose, chosen one. This next phase of your journey is not about survival, it's about strategy. You've already proven you can endure the storms, but now heaven is shifting you into divine precision. God is not simply moving you, He's positioning you. Every detail, every delay, every detour is part of a grand orchestration designed to place you exactly where your purpose can flourish. The moves that make no sense right now will soon be the missing pieces that complete the picture. You're not being moved randomly. You're being strategically aligned. What feels like confusion is actually coordination. Heaven is repositioning you for influence, visibility, and divine fulfillment. Every transition you've experienced, every door that closed, every relocation you didn't plan was part of divine order, weaving destiny behind the scenes. Chosen one, you are being placed before the right people in the right places at the right moments. This is not coincidence. It's coordination by heaven's hand. The divine network you're entering will not just elevate you, it will activate the next dimension of your calling. There are people waiting for your light, but they couldn't find you where you were. That's why God had to reposition you. This is why you've been feeling restless lately, sensing that something is shifting even if you can't see it yet. That's divine positioning in motion. The Holy Spirit has been prompting you to let go of what feels familiar, to step into places that stretch your faith. You're being called to higher ground. It may look uncertain, but your spirit already knows it's time. Chosen one, you are not being uprooted. You are being replanted. There's a divine purpose for every place God sends you, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual. He places his chosen where their light will make the greatest impact. Just like Joseph had to be positioned in Egypt before famine struck, your placement is prophetic. It's preparation for purpose. You might not recognize it yet, but God is building divine bridges around you. He's connecting your gifts with platforms, your voice with influence, your presence with impact. Even the relationships you're about to form are strategic. They're not by accident, they're by assignment. Heaven doesn't make random moves, it makes revelational ones. Chosen one, this is not the time to cling to comfort zones. It's the time to trust God's movements, even when they seem inconvenient. Divine positioning requires surrender, and surrender often feels like loss before it feels like liberation. But remember, obedience always precedes overflow. The moment you stop fighting the flow, your blessings begin to find you naturally. You're being positioned not for popularity, but for purpose. God is sending you into spaces where your presence will shift atmospheres. You carry something this world needs, something rare, something holy. Your anointing has outgrown your old environment. You are being called higher because you've been refined deeper. Soon you'll look back and realize that nothing was wasted. Every place you've been, every person you've met, every pain you've endured, all of it prepared you for this divine alignment. You'll see that even the wilderness was a classroom for destiny. You learned patience, you learned obedience, and now you're ready for positioning. So don't resist the movement, chosen one. What's shifting around you is sacred. Heaven is not dismantling your life. It's drafting your legacy. Chapter 4. The spiritual blueprint activating within you, chosen one. Divine order isn't just something that happens around you. It's something awakening within you. You're not merely witnessing alignment. You're becoming alignment itself. Your inner world is shifting to match heaven's rhythm. You may have noticed that what used to excite you now feels empty, and what once drained you no longer gets your attention. That's not disinterest, it's spiritual evolution. Your soul is being upgraded to operate at the frequency of divine purpose. This activation is subtle yet powerful. You're beginning to crave truth over trends, stillness over noise, substance over spectacle. You no longer resonate with people or places that vibrate at lower frequencies because your spirit has outgrown the old dimension. This is the sign that your divine blueprint, the original design heaven wrote for your soul, is awakening. You're remembering who you were before fear, doubt, and conditioning rewrote your identity. The same spirit that hovered over the chaos in Genesis is now hovering over your life, preparing to bring structure and beauty to what once seemed formless. Every fragment of your past is being woven into a divine pattern. You may not see the full picture yet, but your spirit can feel it. You're in a stage of divine reconstruction, where the unseen is aligning the seen, where energy precedes manifestation. Chosen one, This is why you've been sensing waves of peace in the middle of uncertainty. It's heaven whispering, you're on track. You're beginning to notice patterns, numbers repeating, dreams intensifying, strangers speaking words that confirm what you've been feeling in your spirit. That's not coincidence, it's synchronicity. It's how heaven communicates. Once you've tuned your heart to divine frequency, you're entering a flow state where peace and purpose merge. Everything that's meant for you will now appear with divine ease, without force or fear. The doors that open will feel natural, the conversations will feel guided, and the timing will feel perfect. You'll start to realize that every encounter, delay, and redirection was pre-written into your soul's architecture. This activation comes with awareness. You'll start sensing energies before words are spoken, feeling truth beyond appearances, and discerning spirits with clarity. You're no longer moving through life blindly. You're being led by divine intelligence. Every moment becomes a message. Every silence becomes sacred instruction. The more you listen, the louder heaven speaks. Chosen one, this inner awakening is not temporary. It's transformational. It's the moment your spirit takes the lead and your ego learns to follow. You'll feel lighter, more centered, more in tune with divine timing. Even your body will respond. Your sleep, your breathing, your intuition, all aligning with the rhythm of grace. This is your spiritual blueprint coming online. The codes within your DNA, the divine information placed in you before birth, are being activated through revelation, surrender, and faith. You're remembering what you were created for, and as you align with that truth, manifestation becomes effortless because you're no longer chasing what's already yours. Chapter 5. Divine order brings divine protection. When God establishes divine order in your life, protection becomes automatic. It's not that attacks cease, it's that they lose access. What was once able to reach you can no longer locate you because your spirit no longer vibrates on the same frequency as fear, chaos, or confusion. Chosen one, when you rise into alignment, you become spiritually encrypted, covered by divine fire that shields you from the snares of the enemy. The same storms that once shook you now pass over you. The same darkness that once chased you now fears your light. This is what it means to walk under divine order. You are untouchable by disorder. Every plan designed to harm you gets rerouted for your promotion. Enemies end up becoming instruments of your elevation. Even their gossip becomes free marketing for your purpose. When you walk in alignment, heaven's justice system defends you before you even know you're being attacked. You're no longer reacting to battles. You're reigning through divine authority. Chosen one, understand this. God's protection is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's a quiet no that saves you from disaster. Sometimes it's a delay that prevents destruction. Sometimes it's a door that won't open, no matter how hard you knock, because behind it lies a counterfeit blessing meant to derail you. Divine protection doesn't always look like favor. Sometimes it looks like frustration. But every disappointment was divine interception. Angels are not just watching over you. They are actively orchestrating your safety. They walk before you to clear unseen traps. They stand beside you in battles you don't even perceive. And they surround you with light when darkness tries to whisper lies. You are never unguarded. Heaven has assigned spiritual security to every step you take in obedience. The more you align with God's order, the stronger the hedge around you becomes. This is why people can no longer access you the same way they used to. The arguments, confusion, and drama that once found you easily now dissolve before reaching you. It's not arrogance, it's protection. God has sealed you in His peace. You are hidden in plain sight, operating under divine stealth. Even your silence becomes a shield. Your stillness becomes a strategy. Chosen one, when divine order governs your life, everything connected to you is preserved. Your home, your health, your finances, your destiny. They all come under heaven's insurance. The enemy may attempt, but he cannot penetrate what is sealed by obedience. Every curse spoken against you returns empty. Every trap collapses under its own weight. And every monitoring spirit loses sight of you the moment you move in divine timing. Understand this truth. Order is protection. Chaos is exposure. When you move out of alignment, you walk uncovered. But when you stay centered in faith and obedience, you walk in spiritual immunity. God's hand becomes your armor, His word your weapon, and His will your fortress. Even in battle, you'll sense peace. Even in uncertainty, you'll feel guided. That's the mark of divine covering. You may never see all the dangers you've been spared from, the accidents avoided, the betrayals revealed, the disasters delayed. But heaven keeps receipts. Every time you chose stillness over panic, patience over pressure, forgiveness over revenge, you activated a layer of protection around you. That's the divine technology of order. It builds invisible walls of safety through obedience and trust. Chapter 6. The Signs of Divine Order. Manifesting Chosen One. When divine order begins to manifest, the atmosphere around you shifts before your circumstances even catch up. You'll feel it in your spirit first. The heaviness begins to lift, the confusion starts to clear, and a deep, steady peace settles within you. It's not the absence of problems, it's the presence of divine alignment. It's God whispering, "You're exactly where I need you to be." What used to drain you no longer affects you. Conversations that once triggered, you lose their power. People and environments that no longer match your vibration naturally fade away. Divine order separates you from what's unaligned and draws you toward what's ordained. The chaos that once surrounded you can't find you anymore because your energy has shifted to a higher frequency. One of the clearest signs of divine order is inner stillness. You no longer feel the need to force outcomes or chase validation. Instead, life begins to flow. Opportunities align with ease, doors open naturally, and favor follows your obedience. When you're in alignment, you move from striving to flowing because what's meant for you responds to your presence, not your pressure. You'll also begin to see divine signs, repeating numbers like 111, 222, 333, or 777. These aren't random. They're heavenly confirmations that alignment is active. 111 marks new beginnings. 22 signals harmony and balance. 333 confirms divine presence. 777 reveals completion and spiritual perfection. Each time you see them, it's heaven saying, "Doubles, keep going." You're in sync. People will notice the change in you. They'll sense your peace, your focus, your calm authority. You'll attract new souls who match your energy and purpose, while others will quietly drift away. Divine order doesn't always announce itself. It simply rearranges your life until only what's meant for you remains. Even your environment will reflect the change. You'll see small confirmations, certain songs, recurring dreams, feathers, butterflies, or strangers repeating what you've prayed about. These are divine echoes reminding you that you're walking in rhythm with heaven. Your discernment sharpens, your intuition strengthens, and you begin to move with quiet confidence. Chosen One. When divine order is active, everything begins to work for you, not against you. What once blocked you now blesses you. What once delayed you now delivers you. This is your sign. Peace is your proof, timing is your confirmation, and flow is your reward. You're no longer trying to align, you are alignment. Chapter 7. Nothing can stop what's coming. Chosen One. The divine order has already been written. It's not up for debate, delay, or denial. Heaven has already decreed your next chapter. The scroll of your destiny has been sealed in divine ink, signed by the Most High, and sent forth with angelic delivery. What's coming toward you is unstoppable. No person, no system, no force of darkness can rewrite what God has already spoken over your life. You've endured the storms, the silence, the stripping, and the spiritual warfare. You've walked through seasons where nothing made sense, where it felt like your prayers bounced back unanswered. But all along, heaven was aligning the timing. You weren't being punished, you were being positioned. God allowed the delays not to deny you, but to develop you. Every setback was secretly setting up your divine sequence. Now you're entering a time where everything begins to click into place. The doors that were once locked will now open without resistance. The people who once ignored you will suddenly recognize your worth. The resources that once seemed out of reach will flow to you with ease. You are stepping into a current of divine acceleration, where what used to take years will now happen in moments, because the timing has finally aligned. Chosen one, nothing can stop what's been divinely ordered. Every piece is falling into perfect rhythm. Relationships, opportunities, and ideas are aligning under heaven's timing. You're not chasing, you're magnetizing. You're not striving, you're receiving. The universe itself is rearranging in your favor, orchestrating divine meetings, open doors, and unseen favor that will place you exactly where you need to be. You are the living evidence of God's precision. Your presence in this era is not accidental, it's strategic. Heaven preserved you for this exact timeline because your light is needed now more than ever. You carry the frequency of divine order, and wherever you go, alignment follows. What used to resist you will now assist you because your vibration matches your vision. The tables are turning. The scales are being balanced. Every ounce of pain, every tear, every sacrifice is now demanding a return from the spiritual realm. Divine justice is in motion. You're about to see manifestation on every level, financially, spiritually, emotionally, and relationally. And it won't just bless you, it'll bless those connected to you. So stay anchored in faith. Keep walking in obedience. Keep your heart pure and your eyes on the promise. You've already crossed the threshold. Heaven is saying, this is your moment. This is your time. This is your rise.